thought I lost you guys for a second. I don't know what just happened. Okay. So find your comfortable position on your back. Stretch out your legs. Roll your shoulders under. Ground through your heels and your hips and your spine. The back of your skull. Bring your attention to your breath. Allow your body to settle as you arrive onto your mat, into this space. Observe how you feel physically in your body, how you feel emotionally, mentally. And pay attention without judgment, without trying to change anything. Observe all that exists. And watch how it changes. Begin to deepen your breath. Feel your breath expand in all directions out from your torso. Feel the gentle contraction as you exhale. Bend your knees and place the soles of your feet firmly on the floor. Feel all four corners of your feet. Inhale and root your pubic bone towards your heels. Feel your low back peel up away from the earth. And exhale, lengthen your tailbone and press your low back to the floor. Inhale to rock your pubic bone towards the base of your mat. Exhale, feel the pelvis tilt back as you press your low back to the floor. Pay attention to how it feels to move between these two extremes in your pelvis. Notice if the weight wants to shift from your inner to outer edges of your feet. On your next inhale, as you root your pubic bone, lift your arms up over your head and reach through your fingertips. Exhale, bring your hands back alongside your body. Press arms and back to the earth. Inhale, feel your low back peel away as you root your pubic bone, reach through your fingers. And exhale, lengthen your tailbone, press your back to the floor, engage your pelvic floor. Move with your breath and find the pause at the top and the bottom of your breath. Keep a piece of your attention in the soles of your feet. And the weight spread evenly through both the inner and outer edges. On your next exhale, lift your hips as you ground through the feet and the shoulders and the back of your skull. Inhale, drop your hips down, root your pubic bone, reach through your fingertips. Exhale, root your feet, lift your pelvis away from the earth. Inhale, slowly drop it down with attention and intention. And find the pause at the bottom of your exhale, at the top of your inhale. Last exhale, lift your hips and hold here. Ground through your arms, your shoulders, the back of your skull. Pull your chin away from your heart. Lift your heart towards your chin. Notice where your weight is in your feet, the lengthening of your tailbone, the soft contraction at the low belly. And then as slow as you can, lower your hips down to the floor. And stretch your left leg out long. And I mentioned that we were going to be doing a similar series as before, but not that we would need a strap. So you may want to grab a strap, or you can just wrap your hands around the back of your thigh, or grab onto your pants. You're going to press your thigh into your hands into your thigh, and extend out through the soles of both feet. Draw your right hip down towards the bottom of your mat, and inhale the right side of your body long. Press into the back of your skull, your throat stays open, shoulders roll towards the floor, collarbones broad, heart soft. If it's available to you, you can pull your toes even closer towards your nose, towards the top of your mat. With an exhale, ground through your left inner thigh, your left heel. Hold your straps or your pants in your right hand and take your leg open to the right. Each inhale, you renew the grounding through your left leg. With each exhale, soften your right hip and extend your right leg open. You can think of it as finding a subtle rock in your pelvis. The inhale encourages pubic bone towards the bottom of your mat, inner thighs down. The exhale is the lengthening of your tailbone. Right hip rolls towards the bottom of your mat. And you deepen the stretch. Inhale to come back to center. Switch your strap or your hold on your leg into your left hand. Use your right hand at your right hip crease to press your right hip away from you as you take your leg across to the left. Just enough to feel a stretch. To deepen the stretch, you can pull your toes towards the top of your mat. And then on an exhale, allow this to turn into a twist. Right leg comes all the way across to the left. Right arm extends to the right. I seem to be having some technical difficulties, so just bear with me for 1 second.
Okay, sorry guys, I don't know what just happened. But I'm back. Okay, that was strange. All right, so we're going to switch legs if you have not already.
Release your right leg long, left leg to the sky, using either a strap of some kind or hands behind your thigh. Press right leg grounded into the mat. Extend your left leg high. Roll your right hip away from you towards the base of your mat. And breathe into the hamstring. As you inhale and exhale, find the subtle rock in your pelvis so that as you inhale, you create the intention of rooting your pubic bone towards the base of your mat. And as you exhale, you engage tailbone long, low belly pulls up and in. Notice how that shift in intention changes the sensation of the stretch. You can move deeper by pulling your toes towards the top of your mat. And then with an exhale, ground your right leg to the earth, and inhale, open your left leg to the left. Find the subtle play in your pelvis. Inhale, root your pubic bone long, roll inner thighs towards your right inner thigh towards the floor. Exhale, lengthen your tailbone. Engage your core and pull your left leg deeper into the stretch. Inhale back to center. Switch your strap or pants into your right leg. Left hand comes to your hip crease and press your hip down away from you as you take your leg across to the right. Breathe into the right, the outer edge of that left leg. And play with the subtle changing of intention in the pelvis. Inhale, find a hug of your inner thighs. Exhale, tailbone long, press your left hip away. And then move all the way into the twist. Left leg extends to the right, left arm extends long. Inhale back up to center. Draw both knees in, take your right ankle over your left thigh, hands behind the left thigh to draw your thighs in towards your chest. And exhale to press your right knee away from you. Play in the rock in your pelvis. Inhale, root your pubic bone. Exhale, lengthen your tailbone. Wait for the bottom of your exhale and release to switch sides. Left ankle across right thigh, hands behind your right thigh as you draw your right leg in and press your left knee away. Play with the square in your pelvis. Play with the rock of your breath. Release your legs. Draw your knees together. Draw your nose to your knees. Release. And roll up. And pause for a moment at your knees. Interlace your fingers and take them behind your head. So we'll be playing a little bit with the neck during class, and one of the important things about the neck is when we open up to the back, you want to keep this pressure pressing back. So press your head into your hands and let your hands provide resistance. And then hug your inner arms and draw your armpits back to feel your shoulder blades at your back body. And take your gaze down past the tip of your nose and press actively back into the support of your hands as you extend upwards through the crown of your head. And release that energy and release your hands. Let your hands root down towards the floor. Roll your shoulders up towards your ears and onto your back body. So now there's a brightness, a lift through the torso as your fingertips root. Exhale, drop your chin towards your chest. Inhale, roll your left ear towards your left shoulder. Notice how the left side of your body wants to collapse. And as you inhale, brighten and root through your fingertips. And then release your head into stretch. You can even pull the fingers on your right hand back and press through your heel of your hand. And then release your right hand, roll chin to chest. And right ear to right shoulder. Same thing, notice the collapse that naturally happens on that right side. And as you inhale, lift through both sides of your body. Exhale, soften your shoulders, reach through your fingertips. And let your ear relax towards your shoulder. Maybe pull back on your left fingertips to extend through the heel of your hand. And each inhale brightens and lifts through both sides of your body. And release your hand, exhale, chin to chest. So now is when we get to play with that pressure through the back of your skull. As you roll your head to the left and go all the way around in a circle, but you press back through the back of your skull and the crown of your head as you take your head behind you from shoulder to shoulder. And then roll slowly through the range of motion. Notice where you feel sensation. Extend actively back. And roll through that front range of motion. And then pause, left ear towards left shoulder, and we're going to switch directions. Move through the front range of motion, and then pressing through the back of your skull, the crown of your head, actively against internal resistance as you go back from shoulder to shoulder. One last roll back. And one last roll through the front. Pause, right ear to right shoulder. And come back to center. Drop chin to chest and squeeze your throat. Squeeze your chin up into the throat. Find the bottom of your breath, hold there, and then inhale, release your head up. And allow your head to press back into resistance. Crown of your head extends, gaze down past the tip of your nose. Heart opens, front ribs soften down. Keep this strong, rooting from your front ribs, lifting from your heart. Open throat. And then come back up, nose leads. Look out over your right shoulder. Look out over your left shoulder. And then come to hands and knees. Curl your toes under, lift your sit bones. Inhale, heart open, throat, press through your crown. Exhale, point your toes, cat, back of the heart presses to the sky, chin pulls to chest. Inhale, root your toes, lift your sit bones. Let that movement move all the way up to the crown of your head. And exhale, roll it under. Move with your breath. And find the pause at the top of your breath and the bottom. Feel the sensation at the top of the heart, the shoulders. As you inhale, shoulders roll back, heart presses forward. As you exhale, the shoulders pull away from the spine. Back of the heart lifts towards the ceiling. On your next inhale, come back to a neutral spine. Exhale to engage your core and send your left foot back, your right hand forward. Press into the earth and extend from the center of your body out through each fingers, each toes, the heel, the crown. And then release. Opposite sides. Right leg, left arm. Each inhale pulls muscle energy up from the floor as you press the floor away from you. And each exhale extends from your core out through your limbs, the crown of your head, your tailbone. And release. Widen your knees slightly. Point your toes round back. Child's pose. Inhale, come forward. Rock on your knees as you drop your hips. Lift your chest for a modified upward dog. Exhale to shift back into your child's pose. Inhale to pull yourself up and rock forward. Last child's pose. This time as you inhale, pause at hands and knees, curl your toes under, and send yourself back to downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your heels high, and exhale, heavy heels. Inhale, lift your heels high, sit bones high. Exhale, heavy heels. And keep a slight micro bend in your knees as you find length through your spine from fingertips to sit bones. Roll your upper arms away from your ears. Let your heart soften, the crown of your head lengthen towards your hands. And inhale your right leg to the sky. And exhale, bring knee to nose. Pull your knee up into your chest. Squeeze the breath out. And inhale, send your leg high. Exhale, bring knee to nose. Pull your knee up into your chest. Inhale, send your leg high. Last one, exhale, pull your knee up and in, and then place your foot as far forward as you can on the mat. Come up onto your fingertips, square your hips, extend through your back heel, and inhale, lift your arms high. Find a slight hug through your inner thighs so you're trying to drag your feet towards each other. Exhale, lengthen your tailbone towards the earth and press out through your back heel, forward through your front knee. On your next exhale, open it up into a twist. So turn towards your right side. Yes. Imagine there's a gentle pull, like I'm standing behind you, pulling on your right wrist, and allow your shoulders to come over your hips. Curl your tailbone under, squeeze at your low belly, and find a slight deepening in your twist. Inhale your arms up. Exhale your hands to the mat. Step your back foot in to a shorter stance, hips are square. Inhale up halfway, hands to your hips, lengthen your spine. So you find the place where you can be hips square, both legs straight, spine long, and shoulders rolling away from the floor. Find a slight press into the back of your skull, extend through the crown of your head, and squeeze through your inner thighs. Root to rise all the way up, reach your arms over your head. And exhale, sweep your hands behind you, interlace your fingers, roll your shoulders back. Drop your gaze down past the tip of your nose, and inhale, find a small back bend. Press into the back of your skull, lift through your crown. Front ribs soften as your heart lifts. And then bow forward, heart leads. You can find a slight bend in your front knee, even as you drop your right hip back. Relax your neck, the crown of your head, and breathe into your shoulders. And release your hands. Inhale to a long spine and step both feet back to plank. Drop your knees, then slowly lower down to your belly. Pull your heart forward, press into your toenails, lift your hands for baby cobra. Drop your gaze and notice how that lengthens the back of your neck. Then press into the back of your skull, extend through your crown. So with each exhale, you root your tailbone towards your heels and extend up through the crown of your head. And exhale, release your hands. Inhale to hands and knees. Curl your toes under, downward facing dog. So find a little play in your shoulders here. Bend your elbows out to the sides and squeeze your shoulder blades onto your back. And then straighten your arms, roll your upper arms away from your ears. Bend your elbows, squeeze your shoulder blades in, head drop straight towards your hands. And then press the floor away as you straighten your arms and roll your shoulders away from your ears. Roll your upper arms away from your ears. Then ground through your right foot. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, draw knee to nose. Find the bottom of your breath. Pull your knee up into your chest. Inhale, high. Exhale in and squeeze. Find the absolute bottom of your breath as you empty. And inhale high. Exhale. Last one, pull your knee up, lift it away from the floor, and then place your foot as far forward on the mat as you can. Make any adjustments you need to in your lunge. Root to rise. Inhale your arms high. Find a hug as though you're trying to squeeze your inner thighs together, drag your feet towards each other, curl your tailbone under, extend back through your back heel, forward through your front thigh. Tall through your spine. With an exhale, twist to your left. Extend back through your left hand. There's a slight pull, drawing shoulders over hips. Tailbone curls under as you deepen your bend in your front knee and extend out through your back heel. Press into the back of your skull. Lift through your crown. Maybe you can take your gaze all the way back behind you. And inhale your arms up. Exhale, hands to the earth. And step your back foot up for a shorter stance. Hips square forward. Squeeze through your inner thighs, micro bend in your front knee. Bring your hands to your hips and lengthen your spine. So it's a halfway lift or even a little higher, wherever you need to be to find a long torso and straight legs. Draw your left hip back. You can use your hand to encourage the left hip to roll back. Squeeze through your inner thighs, even as you lengthen your tailbone towards your back heel and extend up through the crown of your head. Find a slight press into the back of your skull. Notice how that changes the orientation of your head to the rest of your spine. Root to rise all the way up. Lift your arms. Exhale, interlace your hands behind your back. Opposite pinky finger on top. Press your heels of your hands towards each other as you lengthen through your knuckles. Drop your gaze. Lift your heart. Baby back bend. Press into resistance in the back of your skull. Extend through your crown. Gaze is down past the tip of your nose. Front ribs root. And inhale to come out. Heart leads, head follows. As you come all the way forward. You can find a micro bend in your front knee. Left hip keeps rolling back. Relax your head. Let the weight of your head release, lengthening through your neck. Hands keep extending through your knuckles. Shoulders drop away from your ears. And release your hands down to the mat. Inhale to find a long spine and step back to plank. Pause here for 3 breaths. Press the floor away from you. Let your heart soften. Inner thighs lift. Tailbone lengthens towards your heels. Shift your weight forward as though you're trying to drag through the crown of your head. And then rock back. I know it's more than 3 breaths. One more time. Rock forward. And then come back. Drop your knees. And slowly come all the way down to your belly. Point your toes. Anchor your tailbone towards your heels. Inhale, lift your arms behind you. Clasp your knuckles. Reach your knuckles towards your heels. Drop your gaze and press back into the back of your skull. Upper arms lift even as your shoulders move away from your ears. One more breath. Exhale, release your hands. Come up onto your fingertips now. Hands wider than your mat. Anchor tailbone towards your toes, toes to the earth, and inhale, rise up. As you exhale, drop your left shoulder towards the floor, spin your gaze off to the right. Inhale, come up. Exhale, drop your right shoulder, gaze to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale to your right. Inhale, center. Exhale to your left. Inhale, center. Exhale, roll to the floor. Bring your hands back alongside your rib cage, root, and rise. Exhale, downward facing dog. Two more breaths here. Relax from your heart to the crown of your head. Heavy heels. And walk your feet up to your hands. Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale up, find a long spine, shrug your shoulders onto your back body, extend through your crown. Press your hands into your thighs. Find a slight micro bend in your knees. So as you press your hands into your thighs, your knees want to drop back. You bring the base of your thigh forward against that resistance, right? Create resistance. Tailbone lengthens, crown of your head extends forward. And you're lifting up into resistance through the back of your skull. Good. Exhale, fold forward. Low belly lifts as you come to the bottom of your breath. Inhale up halfway. Find the long spine, the resistance in your legs. Exhale, forward fold. Find the bottom of your exhale, belly pulls up and in. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, bend your knees, chair pose, arms sweep up over your head. Sit into your chair. Root to rise all the way up. Release your hands down and step your feet out. Outer hip width, about mat width apart. Start with your toes pointed straight ahead, but if that doesn't feel good in your knees, you can always turn your toes out slightly to the sides. Hands to your heart, sit into your chair. So we're going to do a staff of Brahman flow. We've done this a couple times, and it's really good for the back. So as you exhale, release down. Inhale, root to rise. Take your arms up, gaze up. Exhale, fold halfway, arms in a T. Find the bottom of your breath, the engagement at your core, and inhale, reach your arms overhead. Extend back through your sit bones. Exhale, hands to earth. Bend your knees. Release the weight of your head. And inhale, roll all the way up. Arms reach, gaze lifts. And exhale, sit back into your chair. Take a breath here. So the same actions we were playing with in Uttanasana when we were doing it before, it's the same things you want to be doing when we're here. Thighs root back, micro bend in your knees, extension through your crown and your fingers. Inhale, root to rise. Exhale, fold forward halfway. Find the bottom of your breath. Strong core engagement, and then inhale, extend your arms over your head, sit bones root back. Exhale, hands to earth. Release the weight of your head, your neck. Find the bottom of your breath, and then inhale, roll yourself all the way up. Arms lift, gaze lift, and sit nice and deep into your squat. Inhale, root to rise. Exhale, fold halfway. Pause at the bottom of your breath. And inhale, reach. Exhale, hands to earth. Pause at the bottom of your breath. And inhale, roll up. Feel the roll all the way up your spine. Lift your arms. Exhale, sit. Once more at your pace, your breath, root to rise. Exhale, fold halfway and pause at the bottom of your breath. Inhale to take your arms over your head. Find the pause there. And exhale, release your hands. Pause at the bottom and inhale, roll up. Feel the roll through your spine. And exhale, sit. Good, root to rise. Walk your feet in. So now if you don't have a strap yet, I would grab one or something, a belt, a scarf, anything that doubles as something to help you reach your feet. Come to Tadasana. Press through the four corners of your feet. Lengthen your tailbone. Lift through your crown. And then hook your strap over your right foot. Now start right here, creating resistance. Foot presses into your strap, shoulder rolls back. And then left hand can stay at your left thigh. Left thigh draws back, tailbone down towards the floor. And you can extend your right leg out long. Feel free to keep a micro bend or let your hands slide down the strap until you can find that long, straight leg. And notice how that your left hip wants to drop forward, and as you press the floor away, you can find some space there. And then try to draw your toes up towards your nose. And open your leg out to the right. Again, we press away, and then we drop the right hip towards the mat. You can extend through your left hand, maybe take your gaze. And then come back to center. Switch your strap into your left hand. Bring your right hand to your hip. Press the floor away. Soften your right hip down. And begin to twist your belly towards your thigh. Maybe extend your right arm behind you. Maybe take your gaze towards your right fingers. Press into the back of your skull. Lift through your crown. Soften your shoulders, your right hip. And come back to center. Release your right foot and take it to the earth. Ooh, shake out the hips. Come back to Tadasana. Take your weight into your right foot and hook the strap over your left. Feel the sensation in your right hip. So put your right hand on your groin, on the hip crease, and feel what it feels like to drop into your right hip. And then feel what it feels like to press the floor away. Notice how the hip crease hollows. And then you can extend your left leg in front of you. Keep pressing the right leg into the mat, the floor away, and soften your left hip. Maybe bring your toes a little higher. And then we'll take our leg open to the left. Again, you can notice what it feels like in your right hip as you press the floor away from you. Notice if your left hip has come high, and can you roll your left hip back down towards the mat. Maybe you extend your right arm long. Maybe you turn your gaze off your right fingers. And then we come back to center. Almost there, guys. Switch your hand. Press the floor away from you as you lift from your belly. Use your right hand to help encourage the left hip towards the mat as you extend your left leg long, left arm long, and maybe turn your gaze back towards your fingers. And come back to center. Woo. And let it go. Step your feet out wide and make some circles. Nice job, guys. Both directions. Find your figure eights. Both directions. And come back to center. Back to your Tadasana. Exhale to ground. Inhale to lift your arms and your gaze. Exhale, peel your heart open in a cactus. Press through the back of your skull, lift your heart. Inhale to reach. And exhale, swan dive, hands to the earth. Inhale up halfway. And exhale, step back to plank. In your choice, either to move straight into downward facing dog, move through a chaturanga vinyasa, or drop into a child's pose for 2 to 3 breaths. What feels right in your body in this moment? And wherever you are, let's just say if you're in downward dog, drop your knees. And then roll to kneeling from either hands and knees or child's pose. And let's come onto our backs once again. And take your hands underneath your hips. Lengthen your legs. Ground your sit bones down towards the earth. Pull your elbows under your body and press your heart up. Let the shoulders support your neck and slowly lower your head back so the crown of your head is on the floor. From here, we're actively pressing into the head, into the hips, and trying to lift the feet. So even if you can't lift your legs off the floor, take the weight out of your heels so that the energy is pressing into your hips. And if you want even more of a challenge, you can take your hands out from underneath your hips and lift your arms up so that the energy points downward are the crown of the head and the hips. Your hands are lifted, bring them back. Root into your forearms to lift your head, draw your chin to your chest, and lower yourself down. And bend your knees. Trying to decide if we're going to try and do some kind of a shoulder stand. So what we can do is we can do a candle with a shoulder stand option, but either way, it's nice to have a little bit more of a lift. So if you have a blanket to put under your back, what you do is you place the blanket so the top of the blanket is level with your shoulders. So it's like this. And what that does is it creates more space for your neck when you're lifting up this way. So you would bring yourself up. And so for candle, you would just be bringing your elbows underneath your body, and your weight is going to stay in your hands and your legs go up. So that's not nearly as much pressure on your neck, but you don't want to turn your head from side to side. You want to keep gaze straight up. And then from here, you can play with, if you want to walk your hands down your back to come into more of a shoulder stand pose. But whatever you're choosing, whichever variation, you want to be pressing into the back of your skull to lift your chin away from your chest. And what that does is the pressure of the back of the head into the earth keeps the cervical curve in the neck. And that's what we want in this position. The other option is to place the hips on a block and just do a really gentle elevated hips with the feet in the air. So you can kind of just decide what is your level of comfort today in this posture. And the pressure is moving back from the ears into the earth, circling towards the floor, keeping the curve in the cervical spine. Shoulders press. And take 2 more breaths here. Feet extend straight up towards the ceiling. And then slowly lower yourself down. You can let your hands slide over your hips, bend your knees. And we'll do one more Matsyasana fish pose as a counter pose. So again, you're taking the hands underneath the hips. Press into your elbows to lift your heart. Head drops back, heart lifts. You drop your head to the crown touches the floor. Take the weight out of your feet, grounding through your sit bones and the crown of your head. 2 more breaths here. See if you can lift the feet, or at least take the weight out of them. And then pull your chin into your chest. Lower your back to the floor, release your hands. And we'll do a twist. So take your right leg extended, hands behind your left thigh, press your hands into your thigh, thigh into hands. And then release your right hand to your knee and pull your knee across to the right. Left arm extends out, gaze follows your left fingertips. Strong right leg extend through the sole of your foot. Breathe into your belly. With each exhale, lengthen through your tailbone and through your crown. Each inhale, breathe into the twist, creating space. Wait for the bottom of an exhale to inhale back to center. Draw your knee to your nose, nose to your knee. Release. Left leg goes long and grounded. right knee bends, hands behind your right thigh. Create the pressure, the isometric energy as you press thigh into hands, hands into thigh. And then release your left hand to your right. Nope, that's my left hand to your knee. And take it across to the left. Right arm extends. Gaze follows your right fingertips. Ground your shoulders, and it's okay if your knee doesn't come all the way to the floor. Right hip keeps dropping towards the bottom of your mat. You can always rest your knee on a block or a pillow, or just let it hover in the air. Breathe into your twist. Wait for the bottom of an exhale. Inhale back to center. Draw your right knee into your chest, nose to your knee. Inhale, drop it back. Bend both knees for happy baby. So we find a long neutral spine here, and that usually means that we have to actively root the pubic bone and find the slight curve in your lumbar spine. Press your hands into your feet, feet into hands. And draw your knees down and wide. And play with the breath and the slight rock in your pelvis. Find some play in your body, what feels good in this moment. And release your feet. One last hug, drawing knees in, nose to knees. And release. Relax your arms, stretch out your legs. Ground through your heels. Allow your body to completely surrender into the support of the floor. Allow yourself to be breathed. Each exhale sheds a layer of awareness, a layer of muscle energy, tension. So that every exhale carries you deeper into relaxation, into peace, into nothing.
Gently bring your attention back to your body. Take deep awakening breaths. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Or if it serves your body, simply rest here in Shavasana for as long as you can. I always just want to let you guys Shavasana forever because you're just in your house, right? So I feel like you should just be able to. I saw once someone teaching a class where they actually invited people to just when you go into Shavasana, just turn it off. Close your computer or your phone or whatever. So that's always an option for all of you, even though I would miss getting to see your faces one more time to be able to say namaste. But I would not take offense if you just want to like, I'm out and take like 30-minute shavasana. So, thank you all so much for joining me this evening. Namaste.
Thank you, Jessa.
Thank you, guys.
It's wonderful.
So I have a question, because I know that music doesn't always come through very well on Zoom. How does it sound for you guys when I play the bowls? Like, because it sounds really nice to me, but I don't know how it comes through the audio. Like, is it nice, or should I just not do it?
It's nice. It's faint, but it's there and it's pleasant for me anyway.
Anyone?
It's not unpleasant, but it also doesn't sound like a singing bowl once you get the continuous note. So it's more of like just a single dong rather than the full length. Yeah, but it's not bad.
Okay. It just occurred to me that it might not be nice, and I would hate to be doing it and have it not be nice. So
definitely not bad. It brings back memories of when we could hear the singing bowl.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, and that's also like, if you ever want to put on music on your side, like that is always a nice option too, but it doesn't work through Zoom, so not a thing. All right, guys. So, do we really like? Is it 2 more weeks, or is it just like this week and 1 more week, or is it this week and 2 more weeks?
There's 2 weeks of school, like of class after
Right, and
this.
then you guys have another week after that.
Yeah.
Well, I've been playing around, but I should just keep doing classes all summer, and I don't know how, like, I just maybe like by donation, you guys can just come, or I can just keep doing like $5 a class for you guys. That would be okay with me too. Or we could just do like a monthly, like $20 a month, or I don't know, and just whatever it is to keep it simple, because it feels silly to stop.
Right.
This kind of
a lot.
What's that?
I like this a lot.
Yeah.
It's great.
Well, we all need it, right? And it's so nice to have the connection, the like face-to-face time.
Totally.
One thing I am gonna need to do is get everybody's emails, though, because right now I'm kind of relying on Amy to send out the mass, like the all school email. So, all right. Well, that's logistics. I'll deal with it another time.
I think the school does have a personal email list somewhere, don't we?
You know, that's true, and I probably still have access to that document, possibly. Or it's probably is it just on the directory? Maybe.
I think it's on the staff directory, but I'm not sure.
I think so. I don't know if everybody filled it in, but we definitely do have a column for personal emails.
Well, maybe what I'll do is I'll just create like a Google form that is like, if you're interested in yoga over the summer, fill this out and give me your email, and then that would be my list that I would use for, and I can do it. Maybe that might be the best way to do it. And then it's like, I'm not spamming anyone who doesn't want spam. No one needs more spam in their lives.
I wonder too if eventually we could meet like outside at a park or something where people could be outdoors and not on the computer.
That's actually a really great idea. I haven't done yoga in the park in a while, but when I lived here the first time, I was doing yoga in the park at the Red Barn Park is where we did it.
That's near my house.
And you're like, yeah. Well, I might have to do one on that side of town and one on this side of town. I do a Red Barn Park and like a Collier Park or something like that.
Yeah.
For yoga, and that one's nice too because it's nice and shady.
Exactly, that's true. Collier, that was the challenge with the Red Barn Park, is we did it early enough in the morning that it was still kind of shaded, but you had to like pick your spot, so you were under a tree. But I'm sure we can figure it out. But yes, that is the nice thing. Once it gets hot, I think Thompson is another pick for yoga in the park because of all the trees.
For sure. Yeah. For the picnic this year.
We have to do another virtual Zoom, like, end of the year party. Oh, man. But that sounds like a great idea. We could totally social distance that one. I might need to get a microphone. Everybody's 6 feet apart. Be like, hello, people in the back.
Have karaoke afterwards.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, ladies, so much for joining me today.
Thank you for doing it.
And I'll see you on Monday.
See you Monday. Have a great week.
You too. Enjoy the nice weather this weekend.
Yeah, you guys all.
You too.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.